Okay, so I'm heckin' bamboozled. Thank you, Tony, for 6 months in advance of subscription plus 5 gift subs. That, wow. Hi, Liz. Hi, Tony. And Panther Lilycat, hi, welcome to the Rogues Gallery. Blood Scripts, welcome. And, oh gosh. Lord Portico, 5 gift subs. Thank you. In the traditional way of my people. Oh my. Yeah. The mischief has started. Rogues Gallery subs on fire today. It's Monday, so I've got a new Hi Couch Druid. Welcome. I don't have the emotes for you yet. I still just have the one, the temporary one that I loaded in, but you all unlocked 4 new emote slots for me on Saturday, so I'm gonna need to find some emotes. And oh my god, Tony, 1,000 bits. I don't know what's going on, but thank you all. Slippery buttons. Yes, I will have to come up with what a chaos emote is going to look like. Shenanigans are going on, that's what. I don't know what's going on. This is Mystery Mischief Monday, as I've decided to, or Monday, I wrote it down, and you all have me flustered. It is Monday Mystery Mischief, which is, because Monday I will be changing games, whereas Saturday I'm gonna keep for the retro games. So, hello Magical Lemon, welcome. So, we finished with the There Is No Game, and I decided that as a follow-up for that, I was going to play a game that another 1,000 bits, Tony. Oh dear. Yes, so, I don't know what I was saying. I was getting started and wait, what are you talking about with the selective memory? I don't know what you're talking about. Never have there been shenanigans from me. Anyway. Yeah, so I think I was talking about the games, but I don't remember. It's Monday. I stream for less time because I want to leave and go eat food before I watch Clear Skies. So that will happen. Emotes. I have one on the way, which will take the place of the little green guy waving hello. Once I have it. And then you all opened the rest of the emote slots because affiliates get 5 tier 1 emotes, and you all unlocked 4 additional slots for me on Saturday. Liz, you're not supposed to take records. Shenanigans are invisible. Yes, so Monday Mystery Mischief, which may end up being Mystery Mischief Monday, because I keep saying it wrong, is the day where I'm gonna potentially switch games. I may not play the same game every week. I don't know. We'll see what happens. We just finished There Is No Game, so this week I wanted to start a new game called Never Alone. And this game came out in 2015, 2014, I don't remember which. If you're not familiar with Never Alone, I have a little information. Oh gosh. Another 1,000 bits, Tony. You're at 3,000? Oh dear. Yes. Never Alone. I will attempt to say the focus. I will probably butcher this name. Kisima Inŋitchuŋa. First game developed in collaboration with the Iñupiat and Alaska Native people. Nearly 40 Alaska Native elders, storytellers, and community members contributed to the development of the game. You play as a young Iñupiat girl and an Arctic fox as they set out to find the source of the eternal blizzard which threatens the survival of everything they have ever known. It's an atmospheric puzzle platformer that introduces legendary characters from Iñupiaq stories, and it is narrated by a master storyteller in the spoken Iñupiaq language. So it is one that I heard about when it came out and I was really excited for. I've never seen gameplay of it other than the trailer, but it's one that I've always wanted to play, and so I decided that this is one that I would like to highlight on the channel here and play with all of you. It is really pretty. I'm not terribly good at platformers, so hopefully I will do well at it. I don't know. But yeah, we'll see. And I also tried to add a new thing onto the channel today, so if you use emotes, you should see them flying around the screen, so hopefully that happens. I think I saw a few flying around earlier, but yeah. Tony, I don't know which word you're referring to that I keep saying and don't think I know what it means. Have you seen the game, Tony? You say it's gorgeous, and it is a very, very pretty game. Liz, thank you for stopping by. Feel free to lurk. Anybody is welcome to lurk. And enjoy playing Hades. It sounds like that's what you're doing. Oh no, yes. So I believe that the emotes should be live on all of the screens. So there is that. My comment on this game is that emote. The "It's so pretty" emote from Stephen Kill's channel. So I strongly suggest avoiding puns. Oh dear. I will attempt to avoid the puns so as to not anger the chat and end up with many pun fines flying around my screen. Yeah, so thank you everybody for coming by, and I do want to acknowledge today is a holiday in the United States. Today is Martin Luther King Jr. Day in the United States, and that is an important holiday that recognizes one of the most well-known and largest figures of the Black Civil Rights Movement. By no means the only important figure of that movement, but I do want to acknowledge that. I also want to acknowledge that since we are playing a game that is focused on Indigenous culture, I do want to just mention that where I live, I am on lands that are the traditional lands of the Tutelo and Monacan peoples, and that without them, this land would be a very different area, and that basically all of the United States was home to someone before the European people came and colonized and forced people off their land. So I think that's important to acknowledge, and especially on a day that is a national holiday for someone who was it played a role in fighting for the civil rights of people that were oppressed. So yes, I just wanted to start out the stream by mentioning that. Yeah. Tony, absolutely. And Liz, did I see you say that your emotes were from the Meaning of Night? That is who is making an emote for me right now. So I should have them soonish, and then I don't know how long it will take for them to actually be approved once I submit them. But this is, like I said, a shorter stream today, so I do want to actually get to some gameplay. And so I think I'm going to move you all to the other screen and see how this goes. I have set it up with controller, although I don't have an Xbox controller, which all of the controller cues in the game are for an Xbox controller. So we'll see how it goes, but I do have it. It seems to be functional, at least in the menus, with my PlayStation controller. I've not gone beyond the menus, though. So, distract. I'm going to switch to the game screen and see how this works. Okay, can you all hear the game audio? Your mom shares her birthday with MLK. Your favorite thing to do when you don't get to hang out with her on her birthday is listening to his recordings. That is good. Yeah, he was a very good speaker and had a lot of important things to say. Okay, I'm going to switch. I'm going to lose my cursor because the game captures my cursor and then I don't get to actually click on things. But I have the chat over on my screen to the right. And you can scream at me if things are weird. So, okay. I'm going to click play. And new game, and we'll go off on this adventure together. Are you sure you want to start a new game? All progress since your last save will be lost. Yes, because all I did before was boot up the game to make sure that it ran. And Ava DuVernay's Selma is a powerful movie. Yes, it is a really good movie. But yes, tonight is an episode of Clear Skies, and after last week's episode, I really need to know what happens. The Iñupiat are an Alaska Native people who have thrived for thousands of years in one of the most formidable environments on Earth.
Unipkaaqutiarsiitpin taalaqanilaqannasuk unipkaaqtuaq qaaviuraqama niviaqsiaqarualuguuq iñuuniaqaniqsuq angayoqaagamini sumiteemma niviaqsiaqarualuk anguniallatuneqsaq aasiisuraqallavluni supayaanik Iñuuniahutin anuqqautigaich anuhulingaaliaqsuq anuhulingaaliaqpaalluni kisaimma panernialiaqsiput iviaqsiaqalualuk kisaimma isummeqpoq tapuraasi kangitsaquaqsigaasummat anuhulisugurugumagaan summan anuhulingaaliaqamagaan tapuraasi 강게짜고악시가 숨만 아노클리스우르고 마간.
I'm uncertain how to watch the insights from here. It looks like I should be able to, but I don't know how. We will watch them later, though.
아노클릭바이스니 슈니라가나 조금니. 더블라니 베악시아가르올르 아용이죠. 바이야그니올렉서.
Run! Polar bear, don't hurt me! No. Press. I don't know which button on the Xbox controller is the Y. Is it the one on the top? Ooh, apparently so. Am I supposed to keep going? I don't know what I'm doing. Mr. Bear!
Tokutawayak kisimreomi. Aranap kangapiaktok.
Yeah, I've never used an Xbox controller, and the control cues it's giving me are from that, so. I want to watch the insights. How do I do that? I don't know. I know I can watch them from the menu, so we'll have to do that later. From Xbox to PlayStation, A is X, B is O, X is square, and Y is triangle. Thank you. Eventually, like, it doesn't really matter what the symbols are, because eventually you just learn which buttons you push to do what. But in the very beginning, it sort of helps. A snowy owl. Ooh. X? Square. Thank you. And switch to Nuna. Ooh, got it. You know, what's interesting is I plugged in my Switch controller, which also doesn't have the same button scheme as far as which letters correspond to which positions, but it didn't work with this at all. I don't know if maybe I needed to set up my Switch controller with Steam. Who knows? But I got it to work with this controller, so I'm going with it. I love snow so much. We have not gotten very much this year. It makes me miss when I lived in Minnesota and we got nice snowfall. I pushed the wrong button. Hello, owl. Oops. Oh, that's not good. I died. Yeah, it is weirdly warm this year. They did just have a blizzard in Minnesota like a week ago, but otherwise it was an abnormally warm January this year. And I think Aki was just posting on Twitter yesterday, was it, about how hot it is in California still. And yeah. Oh.
Niveaksiagarualut kangersingaroq supayaat ikajorteqaranevlugit. Allauluni taamna teriganniaq sivuneqsipkangaga niveaksiagarualuk qanutun peqpaganaqtilaangit tamatkua ikajortauruat.
Ooh. That is really pretty. Oops. I guess this probably would work pretty well as a two-player game with one person doing the fox and one person playing the little girl, which is what it's set up for. So, while climbing the wall, left and A to jump from the wall. Ooh, like that. Hello, spirit. Whoops. I think I have to switch to her and see, can I get up? Huh. Now what do I do?
Niveaksiagarualugulu teriganniagalu ikayuutipiaqtuk. Siqaqaniortimigini. Ara kangersinaittsoqunni qanuq pisilaanga. Aglaan tavra atautsikun aingaruk.
It is so pretty. The fox jumps a lot easier than she does. Like, higher, further. Ooh, but boy, that wind blew. Almost missed that one. I want more owls. That's what I want. How do I go up higher? Okay. And the spirits are here to help. Cat software on dog hardware. I'm uncertain what that comment is referring to. Foxes? Is that what that's referring to? Owls! I want to play the thing. Whoops. Oh! That button worked for it! Okay. Watching Cultural Insights.
One of the things I think a lot of people need to understand is we aren't a museum piece. The Inupiaq people are a living people and a living culture. Even though we're in northern Alaska, which covers this vast area from Nome all the way over the Canadian border, is that there's this extreme value of interconnectedness and interdependence.
It's a hunting society, a gathering society from thousands of years.
This is what creates our culture.
That special relationship between humans and the natural world and the animals, and that it teaches you how to have a society that doesn't do too much harm to the world.
Love and respect for nature, for one another, for our elders. Very, very fundamental value, key to life.
Our values are something that bind us all. The importance of sharing with one another, the importance of spirituality, and the connection to the land, our traditions, how we hunt, sharing of stories and songs and dances.
I'm Innupiaq. I'm from the Arctic Ocean.
Inŋitchuŋa. I am Innupiaq.
It's very important to me. It's who I am as a person.
And we're very proud of who we are, and we want to continue that.
So that we've unlocked 7 of these. I think I'm going to catch up because they give them to us at certain points in the gameplay, and I think they're short, and I want to watch them when they give them to us. So I'm just going to catch up on them.
It'd be busy, busy, busy all through the day. You get up and you just go right to work, right to work.
There was always something to do. There was never any idle time. The only idle time we had was after we eat and before we go to bed.
One of the older people would be relaxing, laying down there and saying, it'd be really nice to hear a story. And then just organically, someone would just start telling a story.
Storytelling for the Inupiaq people is very important because it not only created that sense of community, but is a way to pass on wisdom to the next generation.
It was like TV, It was just like, it was as good as any movie you've ever seen. And the storyteller told it so clearly that it was just as powerful as any of the greatest movie blockbusters you've ever seen.
There was a reason behind the stories that we were told because they held traditional knowledge. They held things that we might need to know in life, whether it was about how to find food or how to survive, or it was about well-being and the importance of connecting with people and being a good member of the community.
We all do stories. We all live in stories. We all tell stories to our friends. and they need to be told. They need to be heard.
So scrimshaw is this really beautiful method of art that's done either on baleen or ivory, and traditionally it was used to tell stories.
Each etching is telling a story of some event. Caribou hunting was taking place. This is what was going on. War began around this time, and so it sort of gives you a timeline of history through etching.
An elder or the person who carved it would literally be able to read the scrimshaw story.
They're like reading a book, in a way.
A lot of the storytelling traditions would be things that after the storytelling was done, we'd just rely on the next person telling it. And so scrimshaw is a very important way for Alaskan Native people to record their history.
So pretty. So we've got the Arctic fox, caribou skin clothing, Sila has a soul, and the trapping trail left.
When I was growing up, my grandpa had a pet white fox. If you're a good friend with a fox, when there's danger abound, they try to keep you from getting into trouble. They pull tricks here and there, and foxes are like spoiled little kids in that way.
They're mischievous.
When you let her out, she'd go prancing out in the snow, jumping in the air. I know she was happy then. Come running at me and jump on my chest, knock me backwards, lick my face, and I try not to let it. So that was my memory of my grandpa's pet fox.
Now you know why this is on Monday Mystery Mischief. Because fox. Actually, it's just because it was a game I wanted to play.
Caribou was, it provided for us in many ways.
Our clothing in those days was made of all caribou skin.
I grew up wearing caribou pants, mittens, caribou skin mattress, blankets.
Some people had boots that were made with wolf leggings, sealskin sole bottoms. Baleen was shaved to make insoles. They kept us quite dry and warm as well. But the caribou skin clothing was the best. We would get as many yearlings as we could for our outer clothing. And for a heavy winter, we would get caribou in February or March because the hair was the longest and the skin was the thickest, and we would use those for our winter gear. With that stuff on, you could sleep outside in 50 below and it wouldn't bother you a bit.
Thank you, Tony, for the 1,000 bits for the furry friends.
Sila is the weather. It also means the atmosphere. Here's the nuna, or the land, and it's anything from the land into the moon, the sun, the stars. That's Sila.
It's a very spiritual, and we have a relationship with Sila. Sila has a soul in the same way we do as people, in the same way animals do.
I think spirit helpers in and of themselves are really about how we're connected with things. And so it may be that there is a spirit helper that shows themselves as a bird to show you the way home, or it may be a spirit helper that actually decides to show themselves with the face and body of a man instead of their animal form. And so I think one of the things that's hard to understand is that it's not one way of seeing things, it's one way of knowing you're connected to everything.
We've always had that spirituality of everything around us.
It's the interaction you have with the air you breathe, the ocean that you gather resources from, the rivers from which you gather fish, the tundra from which you pick berries, the animals that give themselves. It's all of that.
In the winter, when we were traveling, we didn't build sod houses, we built snow houses. In Canada, they call them igloo, but here in Alaska, we call them apuya. We'd do a day of travel, and then we'd make a apuya. The next day, my father would set traps, spend the day there, rest the dogs, give them something to eat, and then the following day, we continued to the next place. We'd go to my dad's sister, who had a house at Dubarg. They had a small sod house over there. We didn't have to do anything. We just visit with them, and my dad and his sister were glad to see each other, and they'd talk away while us kids played outside or go to sleep. By the time we get back to our home, my father would leave us with our aunt or with my grandmother, and then he'd start on his trips and go check his trap line. We were not into 8 to 5 kind of time, you know. We're in a totally different kind. We're in ecological time.
So I think this is a really interesting way of sharing kind of the lore behind the game. So many games, like RPGs especially, you pick up lore as you go, but it's all text-based, and you have to stop and read through it if you want to like follow the behind narrative or get the world building that comes in the lore. Having these short little videos, I think, is a really interesting way of giving the real cultural history behind the game that in other games would be like the made-up story of the world. But I actually like getting it as little videos like that. I personally find this kind of stuff interesting. I work with our American Indian and Indigenous Cultural Center at my job. And I work with trying to improve representation for historically marginalized communities in our archives where I work. And so this is stuff that's of interest to me anyway, but I really like the little videos and how they've clipped them and put them into the game like this. I think it's a good way of giving that kind of background, and it's important to have that knowledge for the context of the story, but also this is people's real lives. Yeah, lore behind real life for the people too. All right, back into the game. And now I know which button to press to get to those when they pop up, so we won't have a big bunch of them all in a row like that anymore. Woo! I am amazed I made that jump on the first try. Nope, I didn't make that one though. Oh dear. I don't want her to drown in the cold, cold water. Okay, there are spirits above. Going to need them. I know there was a way for me to climb up those things. Apparently, it's just that. I was expecting the wind to come back. The spirit helpers are really cool. That is so pretty and such an interesting mechanic. No. How the fox has different significance, and we know something different about Nunu's coat, about her name, how we have more appreciation for Sila. I'm going on because I want to know what's going on.
Rolo dikit ka ay makapini. Agalan malulak singamarok. Inyo kulok dikit ngamarok nagyak siya rolo pingan. Iba halak si marok sumitema. Dikatsak kumanyain yaksok. Pakit kangam nago. Ibaktan Nunakik iki waktu ako nikasok. Inyong tukot-taktawa nikasit.
It is said that with each gust of wind, the powdery snow blew in every direction. Robert Cleveland, Nasruk.
Nivek siya rolo ukperingit ka tautuk tani. Tautukunak tuak sunapayak sa kumingan niksok. Nivek siya rolo inyo niya katingi. Bisaw laga niksok. Kano ko niya? Ano ko lakpas kanyam? Dahil na kumanyait ka. Tama nga ikumawak tuaming. Kakarak pam inyo liptaktak. Sumalagula kami ni Beak siya rulong pitching nga ni.
Giant wounds. What was that?
Agalan kakarak pas kanyat sa gabing aichik. Imenyawrat sa gabing emel sa mga nunamin. Pagkagahuting nunakemin.
Strange little creatures from underground. How do I get her across? I think I might have to jump with the wind. Yep.
Kaikuen tuting. Ukalaktok Inŋitchuŋa ruang upik. Kanakuma ilisimanek panga. Isumulaktok ni Beaksiarualuk. Kanok kita pura kaunugingagikpen. Kilautika piupko. Ikayokuniakalorikpen kimon dahil nanakek. Sa bakit ilanga?
Crest. I guess we need to find his drum.
Drum is something that's common to all cultures in Alaska. All cultures have a drum that may have some stylistic differences or differences in the materials that it's made, but it's still in recognition of life and vitality. And the drum mirrors the heartbeat. And when you continue drumming soon, it will be in line with your heartbeat, because that's what it's supposed to be, the heartbeat of the community, and it symbolizes vitality. And it's the most tremendous feeling to be in a room and to have one long row of all the drummers and to have that feeling of unity, everyone beating in harmony, the drum beat in unison. It's the most beautiful feeling. And to know that you're connected, you're on the land that you are connected to. And even if you grew up outside of the community, that which is in you comes from this area. And it's the greatest feeling.
Man, I went at it and look what happens. Oh.
I have a little alert on my Streamlabs. I'm going to check and see what it's saying. Oh, it's from like a half hour ago. There were some dropped frames, but... Hi, Melba! Thank you for stopping by and for the bits! The game so far is really good. I'm still very early on, so it's not super challenging yet, but it's very pretty, and the story, learning about these cultural stories is really interesting to me, so... How do I get there? There we go. I just remember seeing a trailer for it like 5 years ago, and this is the first chance that I've actually, or the first time I actually sat down and decided that I wanted to play it for myself. For a while, I was really just watching people play games. And so now that I'm streaming games myself, I thought it was a good opportunity. Uh-oh. Oh. I guess falling down there wasn't such a bad thing. Hold X. X is... this one? No. This one. One of these buttons is the right button. There we go! You can't do that. You can. I think they expected me to fall there. I guess we're investigating the people underground.
Kaya rarak tuat ibeak siya lo butakit kay. Asi ane piliting suna itukto sa urumagan.
No! Oops. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I don't know what that symbol is telling me to do. I will figure it out eventually. Oh. Apparently jumping was the wrong thing to do. It's so sad. I get it.
Ibeak siya lo sabat ko may ahalawit imanyarat. Bakit ka upiyang kayaw dinga?
Yep, I have the drum, but now where do I go? It's so pretty. This game is so gorgeous. I think I pushed that the wrong direction though. Now we're getting to the puzzler part. Like, it's described as a platform puzzler, and now we're starting to get to the puzzles.
Ibeak siya lo kutingarok kayaw tiligaho ni. Upik ko pa chapalungarok. Asi tabura pibi tagaliw di pa lagaga. Ibeak siya lo. Dahil nakone ay chudi hirakangarok. Upik ukalaktok. Uvaw na kao nagingagiga. Iligin nun pikit kublugo.
I think we just got that, like, weapon, the bola. Yep. That they showed us in the art at the very beginning.
The bola is what we call kilamitang. And the kilamitang is made out of braided sinew tied out to some heavy bone which you could twirl. In my case, we're catching ducks.
When we're out whaling, sometimes the ducks start flying. And they're good for duck hunting. You know, if you're a whaling crew, you can't make too much noise. So you can't use a shotgun for getting some duck soup handy, you know. So bola was a really handy weapon to use for catching ducks. You know, the ducks fly and you throw it up and tangles up the bird. down they go.
Well, that will certainly make it easier to get across. Okay, that's interesting. That's gonna take a little getting used to. Nope. Alright. Bola. Good for breaking ice, apparently. And then I fell in the hole. I didn't know where the hole was beginning.
Dobra time na ilihutik. Dibeak siya rolum ato ka upium achuta.
Oh. Oh, the fox sounds so sad when I fall in the hole. Hello, Loon. Blood scripts, we got the drum back to the owl man, and he gave us a bola. Apparently up is not the direction I need to be going. I'm very curious about how this is going to be solved, because I don't know. It seems like down... Ooh, can I go down there? Nope. I don't want to make the fox unhappy. Seems like... Oh, okay. The little glowy thing followed the fox. Hello, Loon. Aiming the bola will hopefully get better with practice.
Sila tane nunakingata inyohuluk kasuak. Inyohulum tautu kameo nutkakawa. Agalan ni veak siagarwaluk sa perinak simarok. Kinnalif sapiak toktodu kami kilamitaun. Tabra ivaktani taudu kay.
No! Don't kill my fox!
Kinnalif sapiak
Have to aim
toktodu
better.
kami kilamitaun. Tabra ivaktani taudu kay.
Shoot.
Kinnalif sapiak toktodu kami kilamitaun. Tabra ivaktani taudu kay.
I made it past! I would love to bola him in the face, but right now I'm running for my life.
Annap khaslik kalwaktuk. Agalan igilaw ningat si kakanaksisi nyaktok.
Following that, it stopped briefly and then became windy all over again. It was difficult to see anything in the blizzard. Robert Cleveland, Nasruk. I don't think we want to bola him in the face. He might just steal it. That is true.
Malakogone ovulogone uishaw blutik.
It's still really pretty, even though they're stranded on an iceberg.
The scaredest I've ever been, I was 12 years old. We floated out on a piece of ice while we were duck hunting. It was a bluebird day, just clear blue skies. And there was 3 of us, myself, my brother, and my dad. Next thing you know, we see this dark shadow on the ice. We look and it goes behind us. So we all jumped up, startled, and my dad, he started running. We got back to the ridge there. The ice had fractured, cracked, and broke off, and we were floating away. We were drifting. It was close enough to where my dad would have made it. He stopped and he thought about throwing us across, and if one of us was on the other side, we would be split up. So he stopped, and he just so happened to have a cell phone on him. 911 didn't pick up. That's the worst feeling in the world right there. 911 did not pick up.
So he left a message because they record their calls. Once he had relayed that information, his cell phone died. That was the scariest moment I've ever had in my life. We were floating away and I thought we were left for dead. He kept calm during this situation. He's bringing out everything positive in this case. You know, I'm crying, my brother's freaking out. It went from clear blue to dense fog. Within a couple hours, we heard the chopper flying around, so they must have gotten our message. We thought we were saved, and then the chopper sound went away. So we lit some of the sled on fire. It's plastic. We thought black smoke in the fog would create some kind of marker. Chopper pilot had mentioned when we got rescued, you could see a glow in the fog, and he slowed down there, and sure enough, as soon as he slowed down, we got within visual. That was definitely the scariest moment of my life, was floating away and not knowing what the outcome was going to be.
Okay, that would be really scary.
Navra tuvagaroa mo Inŋitchuŋa. Agalan tuavit pagavitchuka.
No?
Siku nalunak tok kanok igilakaniak tilanga.
There's a lot of running from things in this game. Look at the fish! Look at the fish spirits! Uh-oh. And I died. Magic ball. Hello, fish spirits. Please help. Oh, good. Yes. I just walk forward. I forgot, the fox makes the spirits move forward, so I had to switch to the fox. Uh-oh. bear is still coming, though.
Isa sa kumayakalugon nanok ang nagkubit. Pinatitakavidyo. Kakame nanok di katsalaytyo.
Owl! The owls bring us the little videos.
We're very much aware of the climate change. And it's been for many years, even before climatologists were noticing the change, Inuit were already saying, Sila alangokto. Our climate is changing.
If the heat is going the way it is right now, for us it's going to be pretty bad. Different birds are coming, and they're coming earlier, and sometimes rain is more than what we want, because when there's more rain, we know it's going to melt the permafrost.
In my time as a young whaler, when I was 9 years old, we're hunting from ice that was about 25 feet thick. And there was giant icebergs already floating, coming by. That was the first signs of a changing climate. Ice that never broke before was now moving. Now, here it is 50 years later, we're hunting whale from ice that's 18 inches thick. There's no more thick ice.
It's creating a malfunction in our whaling season is what it is. Actually, more than that, all seasons in general.
I think we are more scientists than more people will realize. We have more knowledge of those things than people will ever know.
Agalan naman na adlaw.
Well, that happened faster than anticipated. Let's go through as fast as possible. So, some classic platformer tropes, but I don't have a run button. There's another owl. I love that when one of them dies, it's over, and it just goes back. Like, it shows the grief of the other one, and then it goes back. No. I think that was the wrong one. I wanted to go after the owl, but I think the owl is the next iceberg of that. Yeah. At least I didn't die that time. Oh, I got it. They have more knowledge than people realize, but no one listens to them about it. And indeed, indigenous folks all over the planet have been sounding alarms for a while. Yeah.
My brother was out seal hunting. He got attacked from behind and managed to grab his knife and save himself. When he came to realize, oh no, it's a mother. We've always known traditionally that we avoid killing a mother. It's always been sacred to us to protect them. He had to present himself to the council, and so he was given the job to mother the baby, and we kept it. It got so big, it went over the barricade one day and got to the dog food, and that was an indication that, brother better go teach it how to survive on its own. So he did. I really got attached to the bear because I more or less grew up with it. And some days when brother took him walking, once in a great while he'd put me on the bear and I would ride on it like a horse. I was just happiest little girl in the world.
Let's try not to get squished this time. I don't know how I recovered from that, but I did, and nope. Yeah, the unfortunate part of a bear raised that way is that they don't fear humans. They've done a good job of, like, the very beginning of this was really, really easy, and now it's starting to move on to some more challenging bits. I am not especially great at platformers, so I appreciate the easy introduction. Ice caves are so pretty. Oh, is there anything up there? Can I get up there? That's a question. I can't. Oh my!
Tapko tikisakak nannupsit ranga. Asi piyumagili picture tikisak dot.
Oh dear. Yep, I'm working on that. Apparently I should maybe stand here. Well, that's the end of that try. starting me out where I ended, though. What? It's hard to aim this. Yeah, what?
Dabra an nagkaloaktuk, agalan ilitsureluk. Ano kapayak kailangan nun ng atimig ini?
Are we on a whale?
Nibeak siya kalo alugulo, dirigan niya kalo imaktuk. Asi takayom ang alat kaksibilyogik. Takayom iguk kay kairusungin yun puktakpaw. Ara kanahurik tema ipingit pak.
Although Inŋitchuŋa was a good hunter during clear weather, the blizzardy weather simply was not a time to hunt. It's a water level. It's really pretty too. So far, swimming up is working okay. I need to get better at aiming this thing.
In, Arctic Alaska, hunting is a really important part of life. It's not just about going and shooting something, it's about going and putting food on the table. But more importantly, subsistence hunting isn't just about the insular family unit, it's about feeding the whole community. And I think that's one of the beautiful things about subsistence hunting in Alaska is that people go out and they'll go get, fish, or they'll get a caribou, and they'll get, seals and whales. And one of the first things they'll do is they'll say, oh, I need to take this to the elders. This isn't just about one individual surviving or one family surviving, it's about the whole community.
We didn't just go out and kill and put in a freezer. It's like a ritual that I learned from my parents.
It's all about relationship. I don't know. I think there's a lot of camaraderie involved, and just being out on the land or being out on the ocean. It's like getting back in tune.
I'd rather be out there. To me, once I go out there, it's the world that I learn from.
Swimming down works. Hold A to swim faster. So far, don't appear to be able to get that spirit to come down, because I can't climb on the ice. So this is a dead end for now. Hope everybody is enjoying the game so far. Thank you to everyone who is here, and especially thank you for all of the people who are lurking, who, it's just lovely to have people here to play this game with. It's nice to hang out and have a good time. So far, I'm enjoying the game. It is really, really gorgeous. I think there's a thing I can throw the bola at up there. Let's see what's to the right. Apparently a dead end. So I will try throwing the bola at the little glow thing. I wish I could just prep it and let go. Hi Liz, welcome back. This game is very pretty. And it's been very interesting seeing the stories that are in the background. This is not what I should be doing. Also, I have really bad aim with this bola. Can you do anything? I have very bad aim. It seems like I should be able to shoot that with the bola. Everything else is like too high to climb on. But also, I don't know. A spirit creature. Oh, there's this. You know, what we've been taught before about break the ice with the bola that I neglected to do. Let's do it from over here. There we go. It is a magic bola that breaks ice. We're going to be swimming here in a second, though. Also, these ice caves are inside a whale. I am unable to move or switch characters. Am I supposed to be unable to move? Or did my controller just quit working? Escape button works. Oh, there we go. Where did the fox go? I still can't aim to hit that. But also, where's the Arctic fox? Where did it go? I can't move any further on the screen, which means the fox is being registered on the screen somewhere. I can't see it, and I can't switch to it. Hello, fox. I'm gonna try restarting from checkpoint. There we go. Now I have a fox. I can't move the fox. But now it's there. One more time. The fox is the friends we made along the way. Alright. Oh. There we go. Somehow it switched to co-op mode. So maybe that had something to do with it? Nope. Single player. Confirm. There we go. I don't know how it switched to co-op mode, but it switched to co-op mode. Which is why I couldn't control the fox. I'm very happy that they do not drown. Okay, I feel weird moving on without. Yeah, you're supposed to be up here with me. There we go. Thank you, helpful spirit. Now. Wall jumping. But there's no rope. Ah, here we go. Come on. I missed. I hit something I needed to hit, but not what I was aiming for. There we go. To get on for the ride. No? This puzzle is puzzling. Whoops. And I fell off. Oh. Looked like there was another one up there. See, she can't do a wall jumps. She can't go through here. That doesn't come lower. Let's see what's up top. Can't make that jump. I know what to do. I need to not jump off of it. Stand at the edge, which makes it move. And there was another one of them up here, which the fox just has to get near to bring it close to the girl, so that she can use her bola. Oh, it lets her climb! Nice! I don't know how to get it to go up. Oh, there we go. Because the spirits follow the fox. I feel like it gave me an instruction that I missed. Oh, there we go. I'm getting better at it, I think. Uh-oh. No, don't follow me. I think I need to do this. Yeah. Whew, made it! I think those are just there for if you do fall off, but I have to go down and see. Oh, and there are spikes. And I really am bad at aiming this thing. Come on, fox. Wait. There are spirits below. Nope, you have to go the lower route. There's no way I'm gonna break those. The spirits look like Counselor Jerry from the movie Soul. Yeah, they kind of do. Alright, I need the fox down here so I can see the spirits. I don't want to climb. I want to drop off. There we go. Oh, but that doesn't work. How do I... Okay. Fox there. And you here. Both of them. And swing. I didn't expect it to... I don't know what I expected. I thought the fox would be able to grab on. But no. Okay. Fox over here to make sure it's solid. Because the spirits show up for the fox, but not for Nuna. Or I think that was her name. Yeah, you have to split the party. Okay. Now to the fox. Who needs to climb here so that she's close enough to do that. And the fox can come up here and she can use the bola to break the ice, which lets the fox out of the hole. And then she can grab on here and swing. Feel like Jungle Hunt in Atari. I don't think I've ever heard of that or seen that game. How do I get the fox up there, though? I suppose we will find out, because at the moment I don't see any way for the fox to get up there. Oh, we got a bird. We got an owl. Oh, water! Alright, we'll watch this one and then we will be done for today. Everything is alive.
Now we spend all our time out in nature. You get very intimate with the world. And over time, if you're living that life, you start to sense that everything has a spirit. There's a consciousness in everything. Everything is alive. If everything is alive, then we want to respect it. And if we're going to use it, we want to use it respectfully.
What I try to tell my nephews and nieces, you know, you love to hunt, you have to take care of the animals that you catch, preparing the food and eating the food that you catch.
Water provides you. The ice brings you life. It provides all those things that you need to be a part of your life.
That was something I grew up with.
I grew up respecting the animals. I grew up respecting the land. And that, to me, that is why we as Inupiaq, as an Inupiaq culture, as an Inupiaq people, is why we're so successful.
All right. I'm going to bring us over and we'll close out for today. So that was the beginning of Never Alone. So far, I'm enjoying it, and I feel like I'm learning quite a lot, which is one of the things that I wanted from this game. Tony, thank you for 1,000 more bits. Thank you, everybody who stopped by today. Thank you for all of the subs and bits. I'll see if I can scroll back and take a look. I mean, it was... Adventures of Tony came in with the bit of roguery at the beginning, starting with subscription for 6 months and 5 gift subscriptions, and then Lord Portico dropped some more gift subs, and then there were 1,000 bits from Tony, and another 1,000 bits from Tony, and another 1,000 bits from Tony, and another 1,000 bits from Tony, and 100 bits from Melba, and 1,000 bits from Tony, and another 100 bits from Melba. So thank you, everybody, for all of that wonderful support. Entirely surprising to me today. I like, wow. Hopefully this stream is going okay. I've got a bunch of notifications about skipped frames. I think it's popping up mostly when I'm playing the videos. Anyway, I had a good time. Thank you all for coming. I am going to do a raid. Who should we raid today? I think it's going to be a little bit less chill. But I think I'm going to send us all over to It's a Smalls World. And so when you get over there, throw in the hello emote. It's the only emote that I've got. But I would really appreciate that. And say hello to Lisa over at It's a Smalls World. I have a raid button here somewhere. If I can type. So Lisa is currently playing Dark Souls 3, but she is a wonderful streamer, and say hello from me, and I will see you again potentially on Wednesday over on VTUL Studios channel for Archival Adventures, and then I'm back here on this channel on Saturday for more retro roguery for continuing our Ultima 1 playthrough. And yes, Tony, if you would all please join for the sneak attack from Rogan's Rogues. Thank you again, and I hope to see you later this week. Bye!